Hello and welcome to the GamerRoos Podcast. Today is November 15th, 2022, and I am joined here today by Juvi Luna and George Petersen.
What's good?
All right, let's get into it. Juvi, would you like to begin us off?
So, first of all, for those of you in the University of Missouri system, congratulations for making it to Thanksgiving break. Hopefully, this will be up by Thanksgiving break. But for those of you that are listening afterwards, congrats.
Listen, I have a full plate, okay? Editing takes time.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Well, okay, it is.
You've got a full
issue.
plate now. Hopefully, you'll have a full plate next week.
Oh, ha. Okay.
You know it will be. It'll be 2 full plates.
Possibly. We are big boys. We do eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
2.5, possibly.
Honestly, I don't eat that much at Thanksgiving.
Just the one time a year you're allowed, and no one judges you.
I mean, I'll have the plate, and then I'll have like a dessert. But I'm not usually one to go for like, I don't know. I usually don't. It's weird.
Okay.
Weirdo.
Anyways, we'll talk about Thanksgiving towards the end. But speaking of something that is not something you should be thankful for, is racism. And unfortunately, there's a lot of that in the gaming scene. And it did unfortunately happen at, what was it?
Port Priority 7.
Port Priority 7. So there's a top Smash player named Meister. He's Mexican, like actually full-blooded Mexican. And
lives in Mexico.
Lives in Mexico, legit. And he went to compete in Port Priority, where he was the 2nd seed, I think. And they have a security team at the casino. The TO team had no control over it. They don't have any say in it. It's just something by the casino. And they have a rule where to get in, you have to have either a state-issued driver's license or ID or a passport. He's Mexican, though. He doesn't have either of those. So
he had his passport, but it was in his hotel 20 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
But he showed them pictures of his passport, and he had 2 forms of ID. He had a driver's license, and he had a state ID from the state of Mexico he lived in. It had his nationality, it had his birth date, it had his space, it had everything that passport would.
Now, here's the thing. There were other people from outside the U.S. that were let in just fine without any form of ID, and those that did have them
they
just had
their
a driver's license.
Yeah. And he was called an outsider.
Yep. And it got to the point to where they even had the owner of the casino come down. And Meister thought that, you know what, maybe I'll be able to talk to them.
No,
They'll
it
be
was
able to
a
reason
supervisor.
with it. A supervisor. It's almost the same thing. They both are pretty shitty. But he comes down, doesn't even talk to Meister, says, I don't want to hear it. We asked you to leave, so leave before we call the cops. And even the cop, whenever they come to actually help Meister back to his hotel, Meister's just like, hey, is it all right if I just go over across the street just to get an Uber? I don't want to just go on my own. And the cop apparently just said, I don't care as long as you're not here. And yeah, he was denied entry into Port Priority. And unfortunately, the TOs, they tried to talk to the casino, but there was nothing they could do about it. Which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And I think it's something that, unfortunately, is just an American thing. But rightfully so, the casino is getting review bombed by thousands of Smash players. And Port Priority will never return to the Muckleshoot Casino.
Mm-hmm. And they compensate Meister and Luminosity.
Yeah, thankfully. I mean, it definitely sucks that you go out there for a tournament and one that he was poised to actually profit off of, all ruined because of a racist security guard.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
That's one hell of a way to start off the episode. Good God.
Yeah,
I thought it was rough when we started episode 0 with the drinking problem. Jesus. Yeah, I was on bated breath the whole time, like, oh, well, maybe, and then you said other people outside of the country, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
it's possible it could have been the one security guard. I'm trying to see the other side of this situation.
No, the Meister tried to go in the other entrance, and the supervisor was there waiting for him.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So, our condolences to Meister, and yeah.
You know, Smash Twitter says for Leo or any top player, Vamos Meister.
Vamos Meister.
But anyways, on a more high subject, Multiverses has a character that may have been leaked. So if you guys do not want to be spoiled on this, go to this timestamp. So there was a stage file that got
You
added.
always make it quick, Kobe.
I always make it quick. Got to go fast
That's why you're single.
for now. Anyways, stage got added to Multiverses, and the file name is Aku's Lair, which
Ooh.
is either saying we're getting Samurai Jack and or Aku. Now, I must say, if we get Aku in the game, every fighting game that Aku has been, he's been absolutely busted.
I mean, that's what happens when you literally conquer the future.
And, I got to say, I wanted Samurai Jack in from the moment I knew that Cartoon Network characters were allowed in.
Enunciate that, please.
I
Please,
want
for the love of God, enunciate that better in the future.
Samurai Jack. I wanted him in as soon as we found out that Cartoon Network characters were going to be added into Multiverses.
In you or...
In the game.
Okay, that one was a stretch, George. That one was a stretch. But, I mean, he's a foolish samurai warrior wielding a magic sword.
Foolish samurai.
Foolish. I didn't have cable growing up.
Wielding a magic sword.
I didn't have cable growing up, so, I never got to watch any of these cartoons. I had, PBS growing up. So, everybody else was growing up with the Kids Next Door or, Samurai Jack or whatever. I had Little Bill.
Cyberpunk 2077 upcoming expansion won't be free.
That sounds about right. Yeah. I mean, if it's a full-on expansion pack, somebody ought to get it.
Oh, there were two big things. A major cheat maker for Overwatch was banned. Well, basically, Blizzard sent them legal documentation saying, hey, stop it, or we're going to sue you for everything you own and then your soul.
Damn.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes with people who make cheats.
Mm-hmm.
Can't exactly feel bad about that. I read an article today that there is cheating software already for Modern Warfare 2. Now, one of the big things for Modern Warfare 2 was that going into it, they said there was going to be this brand new anti-cheat that was going to be in every facet of the game, and it was going to fix the issues with hacking that there was in Warzone. And which is also why they want you to start putting in two-factor authentication, which is why they wanted you to have a phone number, everything to that effect. Now, my hopes aren't high. Thankfully, I didn't have too many issues with hackers in 2019, but that's because I mostly played multiplayer, and the right pickings were Warzone. But, of course, we'll see what happens.
Speaking of two-factor, for all of our listeners that have a Twitter, please do not sign out.
Do not sign out.
With all this stuff going down with Emperor Musk, he accidentally turned off the two-factor services. So if you do sign out and request a two-factor code, you're not going to get it.
To be fair, I always hated two-factor authentication. I hate that we have to use it for this school. I've hated it every single, I despise two-factor authentication. Now, Twitter being what it is, that's another matter. But personally, I hate two-factor authentication.
Speaking of Twitter, the rise of trolls and memes that came from Twitter was amazing.
I mean,
now, have you seen the interaction between the verified Ted Cruz and Ben Shapiro?
Oh, I saw the one between the verified Ben Shapiro and President Biden.
That was hysterical.
You know, I used to bomb.
Yeah.
And then how Eli literally lost billions of dollars in their value because of a troll on Twitter.
I think this is a golden opportunity to realize that we've been taking the internet far, far too seriously.
I think I like that this is one last hurrah of Twitter before it goes straight into the dumpster.
Listen, for as much guff as we give you for being a Twitter user, I mean, I get it. It's your website and all that, and you're frustrated. But as a non-Twitter user, I've got a really big bowl of popcorn back in my place.
I at this point I've accepted that I'm gonna just watch it burn because the memes coming out of it are hysterical.
Well, where will you go after Twitter's down?
Reddit.
Oh no,
that's where George goes. I don't go there.
Okay, at least okay. Thank God.
I got a 4chan.
That's not. I mean, it depends on the board, actually. You know, if you got
No,
actually,
I swear to God, if you go /poll, I swear. Or
no,
/B.
no. Okay, those are the two worst. Those are containment boards by this point. I mean, now granted,
It's a shit job at containment.
Well,
I can't lie. Whenever Twitter's down, I usually go to Facebook.
oh,
I
mean,
I know.
No. Like the worst part about that is just being a normie, but like otherwise, like I could see that. So what do you? Okay, Juvi, I'll indulge you. What do you look at?
I follow a lot of meme pages
and Sonic
and
fan
meme groups. Actually, there is one group that I'm.
That was a fucking joke.
Look,
God
I
damn
joined
it,
I joined it when I was 12. When I was 12, I went fully into the Sonic fandom. I've seen everything. I was
Sonic
a part
Sammy 2.0
of everything. You're not wrong. Sonic Sammy and I are the same age.
Wait. No, don't tell me that Sonic Sammy's my. No, don't do that to me.
He is.
Don't do that to me, Juvi. No.
My guy, he's
God
in
damn
college.
it.
He's in college now.
Stop. No.
You just aged everyone listening to this.
Well, you're welcome, everyone. And just remember, your actions do indeed have consequences.
When will we learn? When will we learn?
That your actions have consequences!
You blew out the mic so hard.
When will you learn? When will you learn?
You know, there's some sections when I'm editing this show where I have to go and use the amplify tool, set it to -2, and I have to keep mashing Control R until it stops breathing.
Look, everyone, this may be one of those moments, but you don't need to hear it. You already know what it was.
Yeah.
Just
No, I wouldn't do Spanish Flea. No, that joke, that's the kind of thing you have to say for a rainy day. I guess it did rain last. Well,
It
partially.
snowed.
It started as
They
rain.
actually got 2 inches over in St. Louis. I'm jealous. I really wanted the snow. I saw it snow for about 2 hours.
What, the 2 inches or?
Well,
Well, you already have 2 inches, but
I wish.
Man, I was going to say, whenever it started, man, it was coming down. I was like, pff, pff, I'm trying to walk here, and I'm just getting smacked by a snowflake.
got smacked in the
What
face.
are
by
are you
balls.
secretly a New Yorker on the inside, and this is your method of coming out?
Well, I mean,
Okay, don't finish that sentence. Oh God, I'm sharing a room with a New Yorker.
well, actually, too.
George doesn't count. He's a Kansas City, and that just happens to stay in New York. Oh God,
I
you were
mean,
actually wait. Were you born in New York State?
no,
Oh.
but New York is NYC is pretty good. Have you been to upstate New York though?
Oops. Stick.
Actually, yes, I have. I went to Niagara Falls back in 2014. It was quite nice.
I didn't say cold dead upstate. I'm talking about the middle of upstate, like by
No.
Syracuse.
No, not.
Yeah, like at Utica or Albany.
Shut up. They didn't call them steamed hams while I was up there.
Oh, apparently the Canadian side of Niagara Falls has a Rainforest Cafe that is the only franchised one.
Oh, wow.
And apparently it's a really, really good one.
Is that the one that Paul Blart Mall Cop was filmed
Okay,
in?
no. Stop. I actually liked going to Rainforest Cafe as a kid. You're not ruining this for me. Okay.
Well, I actually liked Paul Blart as a kid. So
Paul
you're not
Blart-
ruining Paul Blart for me.
Paul Blart Mall Cop.
I guess we should get into something that's a little more meaty, and that is the Game
Rainforest.
Awards.
What?
Well, the rainforest is dying, my friend.
No, Rainforest Cafe.
That's
Fuck the
also
Rainforest.
dying, my friend.
Rainforest Cafe in Canada.
Okay, go ahead. Start talking about the Rainforest Cafe in Canada.
There are monkeys in the bathroom. Paintings of monkeys in the bathroom.
Okay.
Huh.
There's this.
Monkeys in the bathroom.
It's not Among Us, though.
Fuck Among Us, the monkey.
There's a portrait of John Moses Browning in a Bass Pro Shop in Branson. What's your point?
But it's not monkeys.
Yeah, but it's John.
It's not Branson.
It's not John Moses
Branson.
Browning.
Among Us.
Can he get shot?
I don't have any inventions by
I
John
can't
Moses,
be shot.
Moses
They don't
Browning
have
here.
guns in Among Us. I can only be ejected.
I need the poster inside, but I don't need the cardboard tubing.
George is currently approaching me with a tube. Oh no, he's finding a mic stand.
Go ahead,
Folks.
George.
Folks.
See, we even set it up too early in the episode when we mentioned the Spanish flea bit. All right. Well, befitting my
Baseball.
editorial. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yankees are pursuing a multi-year contract with Anthony Rizzo.
Ooh.
Rightfully so.
I hear the Cardinals are wanting to take up a Mets free agent, I believe. I think. Might have been recent.
Stay the away from DeGrom. You touch him, I come for your family.
Listen, okay, we have kind of a budget surplus this year now that we don't have to worry about like Molina and Pujols. God, okay, they're not dead, but we miss them. We miss them dearly. But that also leaves a lot of money on the table to get.
You touch my prince, I kill you.
Okay, perhaps you should take that up with Cardinals management and not me.
Don't care.
Oh, okay.
First you, then them.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's nice to actually be able to talk about baseball for an extended period of time without somebody going like, no, I don't want to talk about baseball.
No, I don't want to talk about baseball.
I don't want to eat my vegetables.
Well, I mean, I also don't want to do that either.
You know, I quite like some vegetables. You know,
Dude, broccoli cheddar soup is the bomb.
I don't know about cheddar soup, but I do like broccoli. Broccoli's pretty good.
I like cheddar.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, yeah, avocados, but yeah, everybody likes avocados.
Isn't that a fruit?
I guess no. There's internal seed. Oh my God! No, it is grown from a tree. You're right.
Oh God! Rom, Nimmo, and Bassett reject Mets qualifying offers.
Well, it seems like.
Damn it!
Well, George,
Kill me now, George. You won't get a second chance.
you can always come to the good side and become a Yankees fan.
The Yankees.
Fuck the Mets.
You and your mother.
Hey, we're in the better part of town. I can't argue
That's
that.
on my fucking ass. A pair of these.
Oh, speaking of New York, the Smash team is going to be going to Let's Make Big Moves 2023.
I wanted to
competing
go
in New York City.
I wanted to go, but I'm going to be in Florida at the time, so.
Completely different climate, my friend.
Yeah, Rizzo
Yeah.
returns to the Yankees on 2-year deal.
Nice.
Deal is worth at least $40 million.
40
Nice.
mil. Yeah, 40 mil. All right. You gotta love this postseason talk though. Everybody's just like, okay, where's this guy going? Where's this guy going? Who's getting traded where? Oh my god. And then everybody gets to spring training and they go, oh, we've made terrible decisions here. Oh, why did we spend so much money on it?
Dude, did you hear about the Royals wanting to move downtown?
I was about to bring up the Royals, yeah.
It ain't fucking happening until you start winning.
I mean, it's funny because you've got this gigantic sports complex right off the I-70.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, like you have one stadium here, one stadium here. If you wanted to, you need a literal sea of concrete for all the parking
And
to
you've got a
support this.
perfect restaurant right across the highway.
Exactly. And you want to move downtown? Listen, I love Petco Park. I love Petco Park with all my heart. But at the same time, the Padres also do work, and there's a lot of shuttles to and from parking lots.
Yeah, we don't have the transit system for that kind of thing.
And there also isn't a Denny's anywhere else.
That's a good point. Yeah, Denny's. The cool thing about Petco Park was that you could go there back in like 2012, 2013. You could pay $8 for lawn seating to go to a baseball game. Now, they were all like, not especially like interesting baseball games. And this was still when the Padres were kind of like in that
Rebuild phase?
Yeah, in the rebuild phase. But at the same time, like I remember my parents would go and you'd sit on the lawn at the back of Petco Park, and on the right-hand side you'd have the gigantic screen, and the left-hand side you'd have the right field view into the park. And there were even people there to entertain the kids, where they had like a bunch of surplus baseball cards. And what you did was like you could catch a fly ball, you could go and run around, you did activities with this one guy with a really raspy voice, and he had like a gardener's hat on, and he worked for the stadium just to entertain the kids. And now, granted, at the same time, we also were used as advertising, because I remember at one point they gave us like coupons for free betta fish at Petco, and we had to go out to actual people.
No.
Like that was kind of jacked up, but it was still fun because we got a bunch of free baseball cards out of it.
He did labor for what amounted to pennies. nowadays?
Again, surplus baseball cards. They're not even worth the paper they're printed on.
They're not.
No.
And it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't. It's not like I got a W-2 at the end of it. It was still just handing out coupons. It is jacked
Handing out
up,
coupons?
but no. Nobody actually says it like that. They're just pretending.
I know.
It's like the British accent. They only pretend just to screw with outsiders.
No, they only pretend to exist to screw with people.
Oh, no, you're thinking of Wyoming.
No, I'm thinking of Ohio.
No, Ohio exists. Otherwise,
No, it doesn't exist.
Where does Scott the Woz come from?
He just appeared.
Actually, it's funny. Scott the Woz only really took off in popularity right as the copyright stuff with Nintendo began to get dialed back. It was crazy. Because you remember the 3 or 4 years you couldn't post anything Nintendo on YouTube without getting copyright struck?
No, it sounded like Nintendo.
Yeah, you got copyright struck to hell and back. The month that behind the scenes they stopped monitoring it, that's when a lot of the early Scott the Woz episodes started to get major airtime. And now Scott the Woz is a freaking institution. Now his videos are great. I love his videos.
Oh, did you just recently watch this new video about the Wii U?
Yeah. I thought that was outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They really did the Wii U eShop dirty.
Well, the Wii U eShop. It's kind of funny because it just wasn't a popular enough console to really dedicate a ton of resources to.
No, everyone thought it was just an upgrade for the Wii.
Yeah, the casuals thought it was an upgrade for the Wii. The dedicated fan base, or dedicated gamers were like, well, this is basically just a souped up Xbox 360. Why would I, And then all the base Nintendo fans were like, oh, this is great, but you also kind of just did us dirty after catering to casuals for the last six or 7 years. So maybe we'll sit this one out. Now, granted, the Switch has been selling gangbusters since 2017, although I'm really waiting until they come out with a Switch Pro before I really start to invest in the console.
They ain't.
I really don't think they're going to.
Yeah, by this point, they're probably not.
Yeah, no, it's too late in generation to do that.
But at the same time,
they're just going to release the Switch 2.
The PS5 has been out for 2 years. Name 5 games that's come out exclusive to PS5.
Well, they've been having that issue since the PS3.
Just
one game. I don't know. It doesn't even matter. Have you seen that music video? Oh, it's hysterical.
But seriously, name 5 games exclusive to PS5.
Yeah, this console generation is
it's just
terrible.
weird. No one can buy them because they're so expensive because scalpers.
Mm-hmm. Because scalpers. I mean, even if you do get your hands on it, it's basically just an Xbox One 2.
I was gonna say I've had a PS5 since COVID started, and all I've done is change the RGBs in it and use it to play Crash and now Sonic Frontiers.
What about God of War Ragnarok?
Haven't gotten it yet. Sonic Frontiers.
I upgraded my PC this summer, right? Mm-hmm. The only new game I've actually bought this generation was Modern Warfare 2. That's it. Now I don't buy new games in general, but it's bad. I
can't think of any real new games besides Ragnarok that I'd be excited for.
Exactly.
Sonic.
It's just, I mean,
we're not talking about your possessed
Sonic.
soul.
Here we've got about 7 minutes left. If you want to just go off on a massive George and I can go get coffee. You can rant it to the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to go too in depth here, just because I know there are a lot of people in GamerRoos that are actually following Sonic Frontiers. So up to the halfway point in the game, it's actually a solid game. It's nothing Game of the Year worthy, but I think it's super, super fun. And it's ambitious, and I'm excited for what they're going to do next with it. And I'll leave it at that. Everyone, go buy Sonic Frontiers.
Except for the
and
Switch.
play it. Except for the Switch version. Dear God, do not play the Switch version.
that kind of sucks because after I heard your review of it and you said it was good, and I saw the Cybershell video and he said it was good, I actually do want to get it for my brother. But all we have is a Switch.
Now, I mean, it runs at 60 frames on the Switch. It's just, man, there's really bad popping. Even on the PS5, all the people that have watched me stream it, I was running around and I ran into something because it didn't load in.
Yeah, no, the pop in is just horrible for that game.
Yeah.
It's not optimized very well, which, I mean, to me, it's not the biggest deal just because I'm about just having fun. Because there are some really, really good moments in it. And it brings me back to the days of like Sonic 3 and Sonic Generations. The good old days.
You say that, but you probably played those games at around the same time, considering, how old we are. You're saying Sonic 3 like, oh, I played it back in 92.
I went back in time to 1993 when Sonic 3 came out, and then 6 months later, Sonic and Knuckles came out. It was the year that Sonic saved Christmas.
Yes. But Juvi, weren't you born in like the year 2000?
We don't talk about that.
So you're telling me you have a time machine and you're only going back to play Sonic?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've got a time machine. I can't really insult you because
First heard here, folks. Juvi does not care about 9/11. Would rather play Sonic.
Okay. We've got a little more time. Let's say it's September 10th, 2001. Oh my God. How do you prevent 9/11?
Calling the bomb threat.
That's my thoughts.
Whoa.
Exactly. Like, okay, as much as that's going to put us on a list, like, how else do you, like, it's the morning of, like, what else could you do? Like, yank fire alarms? Because like, eventually everybody's going to see that, and they're going to go like, oh, and somebody was just pulling fire alarms, and what a douche, But like, how else do you save everybody? Because if you're just outside, or you start running into like cubicles in the World Trade Center, going like, "Oh my God, there's going to be a terrorist attack."
Oh no, not even that. Calling bomb threat to the airport.
Oh well, no, the planes all came from different airports. I thought
they did.
Yeah. Not to mention, if you successfully prevent at least one or two of the airplanes, it's possible that the one that was targeting the White House doesn't get the memo, and then they don't rush the cockpit and crash in a field somewhere instead of like the White House or any other given target. So
I mean, it would have been Bush. Would that have been a loss?
Well, I mean,
and Dick Cheney, would that truly have been a loss?
Well, the architecture, I'm concerned.
No, the architecture, yeah. But
and of course, for legal purposes, yes, we're not advocating for.
We're talking about this in Minecraft.
Yeah. We don't advocate.
There's a clear solution. Just put in barrier blocks.
Oh, shut up!
Just go God mode.
Yo, boys, come check out what I built. Comes over in creative mode.
Herobrine.
Actually, why don't we just do that? Just put up barrier blocks around everything.
I mean,
it would solve so many problems. It would solve jumpers. It would solve fires. Yeah.
It's called a fence and fire retardant foam.
I mean,
you can cover it in water.
What you're suggesting, it's funny what you're suggesting, because like in like APCs and like armored trucks and stuff like that, they will actually put a metal mesh outside of like windows and all that, specifically so that like if a rocket gets shot at it, the rocket gets caught in the mesh first, then detonates, but doesn't detonate on the window. So there's a higher chance for the occupant to survive.
Wait a second. We're forgetting Fast and the Furious, what they did with magnets. Just put magnets on the side of everything. Flip it on. If something metallic goes near it, it just gets shot away.
Listen, Juvi, I know you're a physics major, but you have to let your hate them for Fast and the Furious go. I know. It was stupid. I saw the movie too, and they sent a guy into space with a car with wings strapped on it. I know. But you have to let it go.
Man, remember when it was about racing?
Okay, to be fair, it was never really just about racing.
It was never about racing.
Because like,
it was about family.
I set myself up for that. I set myself up for that. Okay. Well, I mean, my dad's
it's all about family, Tom.
My dad's a huge
fan.
The
family.
And like we got out of F9, like we were sitting there, like my dad was like, "Oh my God, I really want to see this movie. I want you to come and see it with me because it's, Fast and the Furious is a huge thing for me." And I go, "Okay, Dad, yeah, I will." We watched Fast and the Furious 9, and I just, after the movie ends, he's just sitting there, his hands are steepled, and he's staring at the credits. And I go, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "That was the worst one so far."
Oh.
And dude, like it's something about it, man.
Was really satisfying.
Shut up, Trevor. All right, well, we better wrap this up. Thank you very much for listening to the GamerRoos Podcast. I've been James Carrino, And that's been Juvi Luna, and that's been George Petersen. We try to upload every Wednesday and Tuesday, or Wednesday and Thursday.
Unfortunately, your editor is shit.
Yeah, screw the editor.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
He's
Anyways.
a gamer.
Thanks for
He
listening.
puts the gay in gamer.
Have a good night. K and Gamer. You had to end it like
No!
that. Thanks, George. Thanks.